Hey Jim, today we're going to veer away a little bit from our 51 Oldsmobile that's been taking up all my attention lately. So it's going to be a familiar face. If you're interested in this car, I've made a lot of videos about it, and it is collected all together in a playlist somewhere on my homepage. And if you've watched any of these, you know this car has stranded us in the past. We had to walk 11 miles once when it had the battery failure, and it's starting to do it again. And I just put in a really good battery only 8 months ago, and it almost stranded us yesterday. So what happens is you're driving along, and all of a sudden it'll give you that dreaded bell sound, and it'll say on the dashboard some crazy thing. It'll say the transmission has failed, or it will say the DSC and 4x4 have failed. And I mean, it could be any one of those, or it'll be like a slot machine reel, and it will just rotate through them all. And little by little, it'll start shutting everything off at random. The screen will go dark. The air conditioner will suddenly turn off. The clocks will reset. The liftgate won't work. The windows won't work, but not all at once. They kind of go back and forth. It's like the car is absolutely crazy haunted. And before that, no warning lights about the charging system. It's just, it feels like it's because the battery's going dead. And then when we barely made it home, if I let it sit for a little while, come back out, and it self-repairs. So the battery was still low, but I charged it, and car totally seems normal. Everything's good. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to do a test on the battery here. I got this load test and double check. I'm pretty sure the battery is going to be good. And then I have my Harbor Freight ZR11 scan tool, and I'm going to use that to try to dig in and see if I can find any hidden clues as to what's going on. And then I'm going to perform an alternator test with that scan tool, make sure my alternator is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and then I'm assuming it's going to pass all of those. And that's when I'm going to have to dig deeper into the intelligent charging system of this car. And it has several components. I know one of them is on the negative cable of my battery here. I don't remember what it's called right now. I'll put it on the screen. And it's this whole assembly that goes down to the ground here. And I read somewhere that they're rather fragile. And this thing, I've changed the battery a couple times, so I did not know they were fragile. I might have whacked it. So if it is failing, it's the sensor that talks to the actual brain that makes the decisions. And if it is failing, then it should show up during my scan, but we'll have to see. Okay, my 8-month-old premium battery. It's a die-hard platinum, I think, or something like that. It passed with flying colors. So now let's try the scan tool. I opened my garage door, and my small one and one of the large doors, so I would have nice cross-through ventilation. And I just performed the alternator test, and it says charging voltage is below the acceptable limit. So, there you go. We got another alternator replacement to do. But hold on one second. It never sent me any warnings or any messages about the alternator not working correctly. And when the alternator failed on my other N62 in my 650i, it lit up like crazy saying, get service, alternator, charging system failure, something like that. Never got any kind of warning like that from this vehicle. So now I have to ask, could the intelligent battery charging system on this car make the alternator fail a load test? So I'm going to have to come back in a little while. I have to do some research, see if that's possible. All right, I've done some research and it's pointing towards the alternator. The intelligent battery sensor, the little thing in the back that's actually on the battery, it communicates with a thing called a DME module. And if that was failing, then there would be a check engine light and warning and a code thrown that I could read with my scanner, and there are none. So that means that that part is fine. I didn't find any codes that would indicate that my IBS in the back was failing, so I got to go with the alternator. And the way these work is they really don't put out much of a charge during normal driving. If you have your foot on the gas pedal at all, it really doesn't put much charge out because it doesn't want the alternator putting drag on the engine. It only really puts out a big charge when you're on the throttle 0%. And, or if you're braking, of course, you're off of the throttle, and that's when it really puts out a big charge. So if your alternator's taking a dump, maybe it's just not able to keep up, and when you do lift off, it just can't quite put out as much. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But I guess I'm going to have to put in an alternator soon. Not today. Doggone it. But at least I've done one before, so I'll be, well, it was in the 650. I haven't done one on a X5, but same engine, so it's all good. Thanks for watching.